Welcome in, Ravens Rundown. Tyler Jones here with you. Thanks for joining us. The countdown to kickoff is officially on as training camp is just about underway. With football officially back, here's what I got for you, Ravens flock, today. Before we officially get started with today's show, are you excited for the start of the football season? I know you are, but I want you to represent and make them hear you all the way from the training facility in Maryland there. Spam flock in the comments if you're ready for the 2023 Ravens football season to get started. Let's show up, show out. Spam flock in the comment section. We'll get started with today's show. The rookies are reporting to training camp for the Baltimore Ravens. Still a few days away from the veterans, but nonetheless, time is finally here. So coming up on today's show, what we're going to do is run through the top 5 storylines that I'm watching for the Ravens as they begin training camp. And where we will start today is with the biggest of them all, and that is the new offense under new offensive coordinator Todd Monken, who comes over from the Georgia Bulldogs, where he won 2 national championships the last 2 seasons, has NFL experience previously with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Cleveland Browns, and has been very successful. And what he did with the Georgia Bulldogs, running an offense that was a pro-style offense and excelling in the SEC and winning those national titles. And the offense that you're going to see him bring to this Baltimore Ravens team, you're going to see this team create space, attack the entire field, a strong run game with more play action, air raid concepts. Not a full air raid scheme like we saw Todd Monken run when he was the offensive coordinator at Oklahoma State several years ago, but you'll still have some of those concepts in mind. Dictate tempo. If they want to run all gas, no brakes, you'll see them do so. If they want to run the ball and wear out clock, they'll do so as well. They'll do whatever they need to do to control the time of possession in each football game. No huddle at times you'll see as well. And the tight ends, using him to create mismatches. We know that the Ravens have the best tight end room in the entire National Football League. Now you take that group, create those mismatches, look out for those opportunities. It's a fun, exciting offense that Todd Monken is bringing to Baltimore here. And the statistics on the college level last year of what Georgia did offensively, I thought really stood out. I know that everybody loved to talk about that Georgia defense, and rightfully so, but look at what they did offensively. Besides just turning Stetson Bennett into a 4th-round pick, this was the nation's number 4 scoring offense last year, 6th in yards per game, passing yards per attempt, they were 6th in the country. Yards per rush, they were 3rd in the country. And then the oh-so-precious 3rd down conversions, they converted about 52% of those, 3rd in the country, and they were also 1st in 4th down conversions as well. So that offense was explosive. They were physical, they were tough, they got the job done, and I cannot wait to see this brand of football come to Baltimore and to help out Lamar Jackson. More on Lamar here in just a second. But first, our pinned comment today. Will Todd Monken turn the offense around in Baltimore? Weigh in. Tell me what you think. Y for yes, in for no. Will we see the offense get back on track in 2023? Let us know what you think in the comment section. Y for yes, in for no, if the offense will turn around or not. Number 2 on our training camp preview is the resurgence of Lamar Jackson. Look, we all know Lamar is a talented player and I think the most explosive player in the entire National Football League. But with that said, we haven't seen the same Lamar the last couple of seasons, comparably speaking to what we saw when he won the MVP back in 2019. So the job of Todd Monken in this offensive staff is to get Lamar back to MVP form, and I think you're going to see that this season. He begins a new 5-year, $260 million contract that he signed after a situation that left the flock just terrified. Was he even going to be back in Baltimore after requesting a trade? But ultimately, they got a deal done. And Todd Monken has vowed to give Jackson more control of the offense. You're going to see them run the ball less, stop being so much of a run-heavy team, and put the ball in Lamar Jackson's hands, which makes sense. You want your best playmaker to have the football, right? And the investments around Lamar Jackson, too, I know that we talked about going into this offseason that we've seen this group not put the money where their mouth is when it comes to providing the best for Lamar Jackson. They went all out this year. They did everything you could have asked with bringing in OBJ, drafting Zay Flowers. Even Nelson Aguilar has impressed so far throughout the offseason to this point. Getting back to MVP form, look at the statistics that Lamar had in his MVP season. Passing-wise, he had 36 touchdowns that year. That was the most in the entire NFL. People talk about Lamar not being that great of a passer. Well, he led the league in touchdowns just a few years ago. It can be done. Lamar can be a good passer. We've seen it before. That, and then the rushing. I don't know if Lamar is going to be running for 1,200 yards again since he's going to be in the pocket more. But getting to that form of being an MVP again, I think is certainly possible with the weapons that are there, with the offensive scheme that's going to be in place here. I could not be more excited for Lamar Jackson of what he's going to do in 2023, the way that he is being set up to succeed as far as I'm concerned at this point. So, will we see Lamar Jackson return to MVP form in 2023? What do you think? We believe here on Ravens Rundown that he will. If you agree with that statement, type T for true. If you disagree with that statement, type F for false. Lamar will return to MVP form. Let us know what you think. T for true, F for false. Ravens fans, with the season just around the corner, now is the perfect time to get a Ravens jersey right in time for the football season. Whether you want to represent Zay Flowers or Marcus Williams, maybe you want to throw it back to a guy like Ray Lewis or the star we just talked about, Lamar Jackson. We have plenty of options in different colors, shapes, sizes, current players, past players, whatever you're looking for. They're all available in one place. That's chatsports.com/Ravens jersey. No reason to wait around. Might as well get yours now. Chatsports.com/Ravens jersey to get yours today while supplies last. Right in time for football season, you get these jerseys at chatsports.com/Ravens jersey. Rock out with your flock out. Get one of these today, and you'll be glad you did. We mentioned the new receivers in Baltimore, and two specifically that stand out. That would be Odell Beckham and Zay Flowers in the impact that they bring to this Ravens offense. How much of an impact will we see out of both players right away? Let's start with the rookie Zay Flowers. And I think that Zay Flowers, it's going to be nice to see him in the slot and be a safety net of some sorts for Lamar Jackson. I think you're going to see him impact this offense right away. And if you want to know more about Zay Flowers, as far as his game goes, NFL draft scout Lance Zierlein had this to say heading into the draft before we ever knew that Flowers was going to be a Raven, saying Flowers is slightly built but can sidestep press and fly into action with above-average acceleration and an attacking demeanor. Flowers has a tendency to rush his routes, but his ability to play with speed and move with athleticism makes him hard to read for defenders. And we were telling you earlier in the week here on the channel the comparisons that he's drawn to Stephon Diggs, which it's pretty lofty, but nonetheless does make you excited to an extent just to hear those things. Flowers last year wasn't in, let's call it the most pass-happy offense in BC, but yet still stacked up over 1,000 yards receiving, 78 catches, nearly 14 yards of reception and 12 touchdowns. He was fantastic. Third-team All-American, All-ACC performer last year. Look for Zay Flowers to have an instant impact on this offense. Now to OBJ. OBJ, we have not seen him play since the Super Bowl at the end of the 2021 season when the Rams beat the Cincinnati Bengals there. Joined that team halfway through the year, and I'll tell you this, the Rams would not have won that Super Bowl without him. OBJ, after everything that ended poorly in Cleveland and all that, he was great there in Los Angeles. And there was a lot of doubters about what he would do in L.A. Only ended up finishing with over 500 yards receiving, 5 touchdowns. Now, remember, this ACL injury is not the first that he's had in his career. This is the second ACL he's coming off of. But I'm looking at, think about this, of 2021 when he came to Los Angeles and provided that spark immediately and helped that team get to where they need to go. I think after all this time off, and OBJ No excuses. Should be fully healthy at this point. I think you should see a similar spark to what he provided to that Los Angeles Rams team as far as I'm concerned. So there you have it. Next on this list, let's talk about J.K. Dobbins now. J.K. Dobbins, I'll be honest with the folks out there watching. I've been a little frustrated with J.K. Dobbins over the last several weeks here. All the talking, the just noise that he's made when we got a football season ahead of us here. J.K., quit talking. Let's play some ball here. Here's what I'm saying here, folks. He didn't participate in OTAs. He's hinted at frustration in tweets about not having a contract extension and all of that. And we've seen that he doesn't know if he's going to be in Baltimore long term, yada, yada, yada. Speculation keeps heating up if he's going to be cut or traded, if he's even going to be a part of the Ravens' future going forward. I'll say this. I'm usually pro-player for the most part, but J.K. Dobbins, what have you done? I mean, you look at the statistics. Last year when he came back in the second half of the season, when he had the knee surgery again, when he tightened things up a bit, he was very good. Ended the season with 520 yards, 2 touchdowns, 5.7 yards per carry. His rookie season had over 800 yards, 9 touchdowns. Obviously didn't play in 2021 with the ACL injury he had. With all that said, we've seen the flashes from J.K. Dobbins. But if those are the numbers that you saw a minute ago that we're getting out of J.K. Dobbins, why would they consider paying him long-term right now when guys like Saquon Barkley and Josh Jacobs and Dalvin Cook and others aren't even getting paid in their own right? So I'm a little annoyed with J.K. I still believe in him. I think he'll have a good season. What say you, though? Are you buying or selling J.K. Dobbins having a standout season, finally breaking through for over 1,000 yards this year? Let me know in the comment section. B for buy, S for sell. Weigh in the comment section. Let me know what you think. B for buy, S for sell. Folks, you got to subscribe to the Ravens Rundowns. We're talking about your Baltimore Ravens each and every day with the latest happenings on your favorite team. We'll have updates all throughout training camp here as the Ravens will have, of course, plenty of news and rumors to get to throughout camp. Injury updates, if they make any additions. You know we're going to be all over it here on the channel. So go ahead and subscribe, turn on notifications, and if something happens with Baltimore, we're going to catch you up to speed right away. So stay tuned to the channel. We got you covered like no one else does. And the best part about it, doesn't cost you a thing. Subscribe for free right now, youtube.com/RavensTV to subscribe for free today. Last on our list for storylines that we're watching for throughout training camp for the Ravens is the competition at the left guard position. Ben Powers, he's in Denver now. What is this team going to do now at this left guard spot? Well, they have a few options, but it doesn't seem obvious exactly what they will do at this point in time. You can see the depth chart there for the Ravens O-line. They got some pretty decent pieces. Ronnie Stanley. I really like Tyler Linderbaum a lot. There's a reason to be optimistic. This should be a good group that does its job for the most part. But the left guard spot, there's some questions. We'll put it that way. Here is who is in competition for this spot. It's basically down to 3 guys. You got John Simpson, who has started 21 games for the Las Vegas Raiders over his career. Very good road grader, a guy that you're talking about as a run blocker. Then you have Ben Cleveland, who's kind of struggled to stay on the field of sorts, the former third-round pick back in 2021. And then our guy, repeat after me very slowly here, folks, Aumave-Laulu. We're just going to call him M-A-L for short. M-A-L, or Maul, because he needs to be a mauler on that offensive line. 6th-round rookie out of Oregon. A lot of optimism about this guy of being a sneaky steal of some sorts, and he's considered the favorite to win the job at this point. We'll see how it all works out, but remains to be seen. What about that left guard spot? It's fascinating. I sit here today, and while Maul is the favorite to be the guy, it's not like it's by an overwhelming margin here at this point. Who's going to start at left guard? Let me know what you think in the comments section of who that starter is going to be, and I'll see you next time right here on the Ravens Rundown.